After infection by mysterious pollen, the man gained immortality. Despite his body being torn apart, his head stayed clear. His eyes could read evidence, and his mouth could speak clearly. Even if melted, it could become a black liquid and reassemble. The origin of this mysterious pollen of new life. Starting with a few university students who vanished 30 years ago, they visited an old military human experiment base during a summer break. Despite the time passed, a machine was still running. They followed the light and gathered. A boy touched the canopy hair, and sparks and lightning. A round door appeared, and they curiously peeked in. When they went to look, a black powder emerged from the ground. Later, several people disappeared, including the brother of one missing person, the immortal man from the start. He's a plant expert, studying strange plants to find his brother's disappearance reason, and after getting his brother's clothes, he went to his lab, found pollen-like stuff on them, took samples, and saw they seemed alive, quickly arranging under a microscope. However, he didn't notice the plants beside him seemed alive, extending vines to touch the powder. When he tried to remove it, the plant quickly grew, entangling his hands and pulling him. Rushed towards the sun, knocking at the door outside. I need to tell you something. He loudly scolded his son to hurry up, leaving the son baffled. Then he went outside to call his sister about their father's unusual behavior, possibly just connected to her phone. When a plant appeared, dragged into the sewer by the eerie plants. The plant pried open the boy's mouth, spraying powder. Panicked, the boy reached near. The iron rod was smashed against the sewer wall. At the same time, the strange plants on the father's side also disappeared instantly. But unusual patterns appeared on his arm. A shoe wrapped it with gauze and fell asleep. Unexpectedly, a red line emerged from it. Awakened, he saw it and tried to touch it with his finger, discovering that this thing seemed to have its own consciousness. As soon as his fingertip touched it, it retracted quickly like a fertilized organism. Ishu instinctively unwrapped the gauze on his arm and was stunned by the screen in front of him. The pattern seemed like living creatures slowly wriggling. He tried to pull out these strange tendrils but saw something bulging inside his arm. He casually picked up the scissors from the table and cut a slit on his arm. Shang Shengbi pulled out the foreign object and observed it. It resembled a bun. Ishu sent the data to his mentor, suspecting it related to his brother's incident. The mentor found them to be carnivorous animals, not plants. Shocked, Ishu decided to buy mice for testing. Leaving, he found a neighbor's car blocking the door. Ishu asked him to move it, but he was indifferent. Helplessly, Ishu thought of a better solution. The solution is to ask Ishu again, "Do you dare to touch my face or not?" "I don't dare to touch it." After dealing with the neighbor's matter, Ishu bought white mice and returned, but that bun seemed to have no reaction. Just when he thought the teacher's statement was wrong. Ishu was startled. He looked at the thing in front of him with amazement, cautiously finding something. Then, she put this terrifying thing into the fridge. Then rushed out to find the teacher, met the old man at the door. The boy knew nothing about last night, as if he lost memory. Dad warned him not to go to the basement, and the boy said, I haven't been there. I'm very well behaved. Hey, how do you think they will treat the dog?
Put down now.
Always thought we'd be having this conversation when I got older.
Although the son became obedient, the boy who smashed the car window wanted to use the night for revenge. He opened the basement window, had his girlfriend watch the door, and sneaked in. Unaware danger was near, he started smashing everything. Afterward, he took photos. But then, just for a $10 bet, two boys wanted to set off firecrackers barehanded. They had to hold it completely and wrap it with tape. Then they lit the fuse. Whoever threw first lost. As the fuse shortened, the short-haired boy chickened out, unwrapped the tape, and threw it. Although the long-haired boy won, he couldn't untie the tape, and his girlfriend helped. As a result, it caused a fire. Chang Mao, strong and fast, ran faster than a rabbit. His girlfriend became an arsonist, but the girl did not panic. She just wanted to give her a chance to confess. The police mother bailed Ali out. But she not only had to wear an electronic ankle bracelet to restrict her movement range, but also had to regularly go to the street to do community service cleaning. But on this day, she saw that scumbag. Ali wanted to confront him, but the scumbag was as fast as a sprinter. Ali was disheartened at this point, but she did not give up looking for the scumbag. She wanted to borrow Xiao Hai's motorcycle but was politely refused because Ollie's movement range was limited. After finding the scumbag, she had to return quickly. He suddenly saw a classmate's car parked by the roadside, and the idea of borrowing it flashed through his mind. He no longer hesitated and Walker was the car, but he completely ignored the car's abnormality. Just yesterday, the classmate's car had its window smashed by a neighbor. The classmate, feeling resentful, went to take revenge at night, but unexpectedly was turned into a monster by even days as glass was restored. And Ali drove the strange car. He asked Cece to gather information about the scumbag. As the family avoided Ali, as Cece went, the car went out of control. No matter how he tried, it was useless until Cece returned and the car was fixed. Cece's info led them to the scumbag, who ran when he saw Ali. Ali realized he was blind to have liked him. He couldn't hold back. Accelerated to stop the scumbag. Cece advised him to be rational and not act foolishly over a scumbag, please.
Please.
Ali pondered briefly and slowly released the accelerator, and Cece finally sighed in relief. But Ollie's foot was stuck by a mysterious liquid, pressing the accelerator uncontrollably. Cece advised him not to be impulsive, but Ali couldn't explain. In a crisis, Cece panicked, yanked the steering wheel, and the car crashed into a barrier. Upon impact, mysterious powder flew from the vent into Cece's cup. Regaining composure, Cece was angry. Ali explained he couldn't stop, but Cece didn't listen, got out, and slammed the door. The car's front was smashed. Ali tried to drive after Cece to explain, but the car wouldn't start. Suddenly, she heard a sizzling sound, and the damaged hood restored itself in seconds. Then, the car started up, out of Ollie's control. She tried to get out, but the door pushed her back and locked. The car window rose, taking Ali forward quickly. Despite his efforts, the car crazily rushed to the seaside. Ali remembered the trunk, grabbed pliers, smashed it open, and leapt out before the car plunged into the sea, narrowly escaping. Then, after the car fell into the water, it didn't stop but headed to an abandoned military lab on a small island. Meanwhile, the police mother found Ali and got home before Jiao Fan called the police. Ashu extracted some black liquid from Hell's Shore, which seemed alive, guiding him, and he speculated about it. She was able to find the lost meat bun, so she followed the direction indicated by the liquid to an abandoned military laboratory and found the missing Akui there. She informed Ali's police mother about finding Akui. At this moment, when Ali was taking something, she saw the cup that Sai forgot to take, but mysterious powder had already fallen into the cup. The girl just went to the drink shop to get a drink, unaware that the cup had been contaminated with a virus. As the drink slowly filled the cup, the mysterious virus was also activated. The server handed the prepared drink to the girl. She raised the cup and drank it down in one gulp. In the blink of an eye, there was little water left in the cup. She was going to attend an important interview. The nervous girl drank the remaining water, and at this moment, she felt it was different from what she usually drank. But she didn't think much of it and walked into the interview building. However, when everything was going smoothly, the girl suddenly had a nosebleed without any warning. Her gaze unfocused, features twisted in pain. She was back at her mum's. Nausea churned, making her retch. After pausing, she called her brother, unsure how she ended up there. Everything was blank. Her brother realized she faced the same issue and told her to stay put as he was coming. An unpleasant taste spread, and Cece used mouthwash to dispel it. As he turned, the mouthwash expanded, filling the bathroom. Cece, terrified, retreated, ran out, and shut the door. The monster followed swiftly, squeezing through the door gap. Cece grabbed a lamp, jabbed it, and escaped to the elevator. The monster chased her.
在房间准备乘坐电梯逃离大楼，缓解过来的怪物紧追其后。
Fortunately, before being caught, she successfully closed the elevator door, but just when she thought she had escaped danger, The monster landed on top of the elevator and stopped it. By now, Cece tried to pry open the elevator door to escape, but her strength was too small to open it. She curled up in a corner, not knowing how to save herself. At these moments, the monster also squeezed in through the gap. Just when Cece was in despair, her brother Oren arrived in time. Cece, realizing the situation, managed to climb out of the elevator with the help of Oren and Kiki. Immediately after, the elevator and the monster were heavily thrown downstairs. The three of them went to the subway station and caught the last train to their father's house. There were only the three of them in the elevator, but just as the train was running normally, it suddenly made an emergency stop and then sounded an alarm. Cece looked out the window, only to find that the monster had caught up. The monster broke through the window, separating her from her brother. Oren told him. In a panic, he spotted the train door, pried it open, and leapt out. Seeing the monster getting closer, he tried to escape, but the station was closed. The huge monster surged out from the carriage. Cece heard a whistle, saw the high voltage sign, and had an idea. He leapt onto the subway tracks and ran in the opposite direction. The monster followed Cece, but as soon as it touched the high voltage line, it was carbonized. The three who escaped from here were troubled by the strange events of the past few days, and after some discussion, decided to return to the abandoned military laboratory to investigate. To their surprise, as night fell, their father, Ashu, also appeared there. It turned out that earlier in the morning, Ashu went to visit Ekui, who had been rescued from the laboratory, and a strange white-haired doctor appeared in the ward. Even more bizarre was that the doctor did something to the virus-infected Ekui, and the black liquid, which was usually very accurate in tracking the mysterious virus, was ineffective on Ekui. Ashu felt something was odd and pursued the strange white-haired doctor. To her surprise, the black liquid that had been stagnant earlier was now violently shaking in her hand. Ashu looked at the woman in the distance. The child you saw touched it, but as he neared the console, what seemed lifeless emitted a faint glow after opening the casing. The man knew this unexpected power wasn't coincidental. It might be key to the virus mystery. Filled with doubt, he reached out, accidentally triggering a switch. The ordinary-looking floor slowly slid open. He cautiously approached the edge of the round door, and when the flashlight's beam probed inside, he was startled to find a hidden world beneath. Just as he was pondering how to descend, a burst of black powder suddenly sprayed out, dancing before his eyes and blocking his vision. The man choked and retreated, backing all the way to the control panel. In his panic, he reached out and turned off the switch. He tried to calm himself, grabbed the package at his feet, and dashed out of the laboratory. However, after leaving the lab, his life spiraled out of control. Upon returning home, he was burning up and dizzy, forcing himself to get up from the bed. Eager to take some fever-reducing medicine, he casually filled a glass with tap water, turned to grab the medicine bottle from the fridge, and impatiently popped the pill into his mouth, tilting his head back to gulp down the cool water. A wave of coolness spread from his throat, giving him a moment of relief, but a rumbling in his stomach. But after ordering, a strong itch surged in his nose, followed by a loud sneeze. The fever left him dazed, and he didn't notice the black residue on the tissue he used. Unaware that Tateway had arrived, he instinctively patted his pocket, then remembered his wallet was inside. To avoid embarrassment, he signaled Xiao Hai to follow him inside to transfer money via phone. Xiao Hai followed Aishu, and as they stepped, a loud sneeze erupted. Xiao Hai, concerned, was ready to help, but Aishu stood still as if frozen. Xiao Hai stepped forward to check, and Aishu slowly turned around. The moment Xiao Hai went down, he widened his eyes and fled in panic. Aishu fetched a mirror, and when he saw his reflection, he was stunned, unable to understand why he looked like that. After Aishu put her eyeballs back, she noticed black liquid on her fingers. Panic grew as a foreboding feeling arose. She frantically rushed to the basement and grabbed the protective suit.